Hello, good afternoon, each and every one of you. This is Basavaraj, your biology master teacher. I hope everyone is safe and sound and doing extremely well in life. So students, how is everyone doing? Quickly let me know in the chat. How is everyone doing? How is the preparation going for your class 10th board examination? Is the preparation on point, or do you still have a lot of doubts, or are you not solving enough of previous year questions? Quickly let me know in the chat. How is the preparation going on? Okay. So before we start anything, also let me know in the chat if the presentation behind me is visible to all of you and my voice is audible to all of you. Tell me that in the chat. Yes, students. Yes. Let me know in the chat quickly if the presentation behind me is visible to all of you and my voice is audible to all of you. Is it clear? If the voice is clear, let me give you a brief history of, not what I say history, the brief gist of today's session. We'll be doing top 20 questions from the chapter Heredity, and this top 20 questions will include questions from your value based question, competency based question, monohybrid cross questions, dihybrid based questions. We'll have MCQ questions in the end of today's video. At the end of today's video, we'll also be doing assertion reason question. So watch the video till the end, stay till the end. Clear? Hello. So can we start? Can I see some Josh in the chat? Can I see some energy in the chat? Are all of you excited for today's class? If you're excited for today's class, quickly like the video and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I see some of you are not subscribed to the channel, so quickly subscribe to the channel and we will start today's questions. Okay? Can I start? Yes, we can start this question, students. So the first question is here. Before we go to the first question, a quick reminder to all of you. That is, we have a Telegram channel called as Diksha Vedantu 9th and 10th Telegram channel. On this Telegram channel right here, we upload all the notes, all the assignments. We give you daily questions, every single thing on this Telegram right here. So link is in the description. Go on, join the Telegram channel. Every single notes is for you. So can we start with the first 1 mark questions now? Let's start with 1 mark questions right now. Question number 1. Direct question. This is a dihybrid question. 2 pea plants. Let me switch this side. 2 pea plants, one with round and green seeds. 2 contrasting characters are here, and another with wrinkled yellow seeds. Produce F1 progenies having round and yellow seeds. So in the F1 generation, we are obtaining what? In the F1 generation, we are obtaining capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. When the F1 plants are selfed, we are crossing between the F1 plants now. The F2 progeny will have the following combination of characters. First of all, tell me in the chat, is this a monohybrid cross or is this a dihybrid cross? Quickly in the chat. First point, all of you know if there is involvement of 2 different characters, this question is from dihybrid cross. First point clear. Now what are they asking you? They are asking you F2 progeny will have the following combination of characters. They're asking you the phenotypic ratio of F2 generation. The phenotypic ratio, phenotype of F2 generation. And if you remember the cross, where we did in the Heredity 1 short video, I told you in the case of dihybrid cross, the phenotype of F2 will be 9:3:3:1. 9:3:3:1 will be the ratio of phenotype in the case of dihybrid cross. So what will be the answer here? The answer will be option number B. Option number B will be the answer. 9:3:3:1. Any doubt here, ask me right now because this is live. Right? You can ask me doubts here and there and I'll answer you right now. Here only I'll answer you. Okay? So what is the answer? The answer is 9:3:1. Next question. Which of the following scientists gave the principles of inheritance? We got 3 different inheritance, right? 3 different laws. One was law of dominance, then we got law of segregation, then we also have law of independent assortment. 3 different laws, and 3 different laws were given by none other than Gregor Mendel. Gregor Mendel was a scientist who gave us the 3 different laws. So option number A is correct. Next question. In a green, round green seeded pea plant. So we have a pea plant which is round and green. Both are dominant traits. Is crossed with wrinkled yellow. Small r, small y. The seeds to be produced in the F1 generation will be. What will be the seeds in the F1 generation here? Now, what are the gametes? What are the gametes we obtain here? The gametes we obtain from here is capital R and capital Y. 1 second. Capital R and capital Y. And from here, what do we obtain? Small r and small y. And when this is crossed, what do we obtain? Capital R, small r, capital Y, and small y. This is the right. This is the F1 generation. This is the F1 generation. Now, in this F1 generation, if you notice, this capital R is dominant. So seed will be now. The seed will be round. The seed will be round in nature. Now, what about your color? The color green is for capital Y. So this will be green is dominant. So your F1 generation will have round and green. R is dominant, that's why round. Y is dominant, that's why we'll have 1 second. Wrinkled yellow. Yes. So the answer will be round and green. Round and green. 1 second. With a round plant, round green plant. Yes, green is dominant. So green is dominant. Round and green. Round and green. Next question. Students, if you're not able to solve the questions, do not worry. I will be teaching you all of this again later on. If you do not understand the questions, any place you're not able to understand the questions, let me know in the comment section. I will make sure you understand the questions and if you're able to solve the questions later on. Okay. Next question. The genetic constitution of an organism is called as. See, if an organism from outside the way it looks, that is called as a phenotype. But what is from inside? Inside it's called as genotype. Easy question. Next question. Write the scientific name of plant which Mendel carried out its experiments. Which is the plant? We know he used a pea plant, right? Pea plant is the normal which you eat in the masala puri, you get pea plant, right? But which is the scientific name? What is the scientific name here of the pea plant? The scientific name of pea plant is, can anyone in the chat tell me? Ramalakshmi or Quizmaster, anyone who can tell me what is the scientific name of the pea plant? Yes, it is Pisum sativum. Now, Ramalakshmi, as you have told me, Pisum sativum. Now, one mistake is there. What have you written? The mistake in whatever you written is, you have written small p. Remember, always when you write the scientific name, remember this very carefully. When you write the scientific name, the first letter of the first letter of the first word should always be capital. It should always be capital. Remember that. Then sativum. Sativum can be normal. That is, this small is can be small. This should be capital. And always when you're writing examination, please underline every single scientific name. And if you're typing, it should be italicized. If you're typing, it should be italicized. So it should be capital always. Okay. If you don't write this capital, you might lose half a mark there. If it is a 1 mark question, you can lose even half a mark there. Okay. Next question. Next we have 3 mark question. Can we do some 3 mark questions here? Okay. The first 3 mark question is here. Describe how the sex of the offspring is determined in the zygote in a human being. Now here onwards we have much more descriptive questions. They can ask you, how is the sex determination in the case of humans and how does the zygote play a role here? How can we tell in the zygote itself the sex of a baby? The answer is very simple again. What is the answer here? In the case of female, draw this. See, this is a 3 mark question. You need to draw the diagram, you need to show the cross and everything. So in the case of female, we have 22 autosomes plus X chromosome. But in the case of male, we have what? 22 autosomes plus X and Y chromosome. Yes, clear here? Now during gamete formation, we only have X gamete here, that is the egg. In the case of male, there will be two types of sperm. There will be two types of sperm. One sperm will have X chromosome, one sperm will have Y chromosome. Now if this X chromosome meets with this X sperm, the resultant zygote is XX. That will be a female child again, or a girl child. Now what about this X egg fused with the Y sperm, which will result in XY? This will be a male, and this is the zygote stage. This is the zygote stage. And remember students, zygote is the first cell in the body. If they ask you a question, which is the first cell in the body, you should tell zygote is the first cell in the body. Now they'll ask you one more question. Is the zygote, they might not ask you, but listen to me very carefully. Zygote, is it haploid or diploid? Does it have a complete set of chromosomes, or does it have only half the chromosomes? Your answer should be, sir, the zygote is diploid in nature. It has a complete set of chromosomes. But what about the gametes? Are they haploid or diploid? Tell me fast in the chat. The gametes here, that is, it could be either egg or it could be the sperm, they are haploid in nature. That is, they only have a one set of chromosome. Clear? Clear? Half the set of chromosomes. Next question. Now I've given you the answer here because this needs to be written down, and similarly you can also write in your examination. You will get full marks. Don't worry. Is this visible to all of you, or is this not visible? Tell me in the chat right now. Is this visible? Let me switch off the lights more. Is this visible to all of you? Is the writing visible to all of you? If it is not visible, don't worry. The entire PDF with the answers will be given to you on the Telegram channel. Okay. Now what is the question? Write similarities between Mendelian factors and genes. What is the similarity between Mendelian factors as well as the genes? The answer is very simple. It is not visible to all of you. Should I call someone? Should I call someone and tell it's not visible? 1 second, students, 1 second. Let me call someone who will help you out on this. There is something. 1 second, students. I will get it corrected. Don't worry if it's not visible. I will give you the entire PDF. You can download the PDF and you can read all the options. You can read all the answers there for clarity purposes again. Okay? One second, students. Let me call someone. Or let me do it. ಮಿಥುನ್ ಇದಾರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಮಿಥುನ್ ಇದಾರ? ಮಿಥುನ್ ಅಶ್ವಿನ್ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಕರಿತೀವ? ಲೈಟ್ ಅದು ಲೈಟ್ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮಿಥುನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದಾರೆ. ಮಿಥುನ್ ब्राइटनेस कम करना थोड़ा. थोड़ा ब्राइटनेस कम कर सकते हो इसका ब्राइटनेस यहाँ से.
You want more bright?
Less bright.
Live? The session is live already?
Yeah, session is live. Students are like they're not able to see this.
You should have told me that. That's okay.
It's fine. Okay, students, I believe this is visible right now, so don't worry.
Yeah.
So I'll read the question again now. Yes, I know I can zoom in. Here, this is a presentation. I can't zoom in, I guess.
You
See?
can zoom in.
But I have to take out the pen, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I can zoom in, I guess. But anyway, it's visible, I guess, now, after the entire thing. Okay, let's read it now. Write the similarities between Mendel's factors and genes. Now, during the study of the Mendel, he called something called as factors. Later on, after the different studies, we got to know it is actually the genes. So, what are the similarities between factors as well as genes? This type of question can come. Let me read the answer for you. Mendel proposed the inheritance of traits. Yes, all of us know Mendel gave inheritance of traits. from the parent to the offspring by heredity units called as factors. Mendel told us that there is something, a small factor which is transferred from parent to the offspring. He told there is some genetic material is transferred from parent to the offspring. That transfer of that genetic material he called as factor. Okay, Mendel suggested that every character is controlled by a pair of factors. Now, what is this pair of factors? The pair of factors here are the alleles. Those are the alleles here. Certain and Boveri, this is not in your syllabus, found striking similarities between the behavior of Mendelian factors and chromosome during the meiosis and fertilization. The first similarity between the factors and the genes is that, or the chromosomes is that, they divide during the meiosis stage. Meiosis is a type of cell division. Okay, factors and chromosomes are present in paired condition. That is, the meaning is that the genes are present in paired condition. That is, genes has an alternative form that we call as allele. Similarly, in the case of factor which Mendel spoke about, that also is found as paired. That also is found as paired. Who is the father of genetics? That is nothing but your Gregor Mendel, is also called as your father of genetics. Clear? Sir, genes are the informed form of DNA. See, genes is form of DNA. Yes, genes are form of DNA. But genes, what is a gene but? Gene is nothing but a small segment of DNA. For example, this is a long DNA. Yes, if I take a small section here, this particular part is the gene. Gene is the segment of DNA. That is the definition. So what are the similarities between factors and genes? The similarity between factors and genes is that both are present in a paired condition and both factors and genes divide during the cell division. Clear? That is the answer here. Next question. This is a very famous question, the most famous question. The most famous question which is asked here is 3 laws of Mendel. The 3 different laws given by our Uncle Mendel. What are 3 different laws? The first law here is your law of dominance. Law of dominance states that between the 2 alleles, one allele is dominant, which is expressed more, which will shout more, which will, keep on talking all the time, keep on expressing all the time. Other one is called as recessive allele, which does not express at all in the presence of dominant. That was given by Mendel. Okay. What about the principles of segregation? The principle of segregation is very simple. That is, the 2 different alleles will segregate during the gamete formation. That is the law of segregation. Now, when I say 2 different alleles, did Mendel call it alleles? No. What did Mendel call it? Mendel called it factors. Mendel called it factors. That is, 2 factors of a character separate at the time of gamete formation. The 2 different alleles or the 2 different factors separate out during the gamete formation. Clear? And exactly, law of dominance as well as the law of segregation, both are obtained from the monohybrid cross, while the principles of independent assortment, which is obtained from your dihybrid cross. Now, what does principles of independent assortment say? Principles of independent assortment says that inheritance of 2 or more pair of contrasting traits. Well, when I say contrasting traits, this includes your dihybrid cross, that is color of the seed as well as shape of the seed. Both are contrasting traits. Yes, the contrasting traits is such a way that one pair of contrasting traits is independent of other pair of contrasting traits. That is, they're independently obtained. Clear? Now, next question. Next question is again, sir, who is the discovery of genetics? Discovery of genetics. There are a lot of different. See, I'll tell you, genetics was started even before Mendel. Mendel was actually not a biologist. Mendel was a mathematician. Mendel was so smart that he started using maths in biology. That's how he became famous. But do you know, actually Mendel never became famous when he was alive. Mendel's work was never recognized in the starting. Later on, after so many years, his work was recognized. Okay. Now, next question, a problem. A green stemmed rose plant, when we have a green stemmed rose plant denoted by capital G and capital G. Listen to me very carefully, all of you now. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel, and start. Okay. He studied biomaths. Biomaths. Yes, he studied biomaths. Okay. A green stemmed rose plant denoted by capital G, and a brown stemmed rose plant denoted by small g. Clear? Are allowed to undergo a cross with each other. So we have a cross here. Let's do the cross. All of you write down in your book also. We have your green stem here. Yes, we have the green stem. We have the green stem here. What does the green stem say? Capital G. Then we also have brown stem. That is small g and small g. Now what are the gametes we obtain from here? Capital G is a gamete here. Small g is a gamete here. We cross them, we get capital G, small g. This is nothing but the F1. That is the F1. I hope none of you have any doubt here. Now what do? We self-cross of F1 now. We self-cross F1. F1 into F1. That is nothing but capital G crossing with capital G, small g. Draw Punnett square. Yes. What do we obtain here? Capital G, small g, capital G, small g. Capital G, capital G, capital G, small g, capital G, small g, and small g, small g. Clear? I hope till here is clear. This is your F2 generation. This is your F2 generation. If you do not know what is F1 generation, what is F2 generation, please watch the Heredity in one shot. Every single detail I have explained there. Okay? Now let's read the question. Let's read the question. List your observations regarding. Now all of you should observe. All of you should observe now. Nicely observe here. What are they asking? Color of the stem in their F1 progeny. They're asking you color of the stem in F1 progeny. What is the color here? See, this capital G is more dominant. So the F1 progeny will have green stem. Small g is brown. It is recessive. They are like, capital G will be like, no, you will not express, only I will express now. So the F1 progeny will be green in color. So first answer is green. Okay. Second question, percentage. See, they're asking you percentage type questions now. Listen very carefully. Percentage of brown stemmed plants in F2 progeny if F1 plants are self-pollinated. If the F1 plants are self-pollinated, they're asking you what is the percentage of brown stem. Now quickly tell me in the chat, is this green stem or brown stem? Is this here green stem or brown stem? Tell me fast. Sir, capital G, capital G is dominant, so this will be green stem. What about this? Capital G, small g. Capital G is more dominant, so this also will be green stem. What about this? This also will be green stem in nature. Now what about this small g, small g? This small g will be brown stem. Now this brown stem is nothing but your 1/4 in the term of fraction, and if you take this entire thing as 100%, the brown stem will be just 25%. What about the green stem? The green stem will be, how to calculate percentage? See, I'm telling you percentage. Simple. Take this as 100%. 100% is divided into how many parts? 25%, 50%, 50%. If you divide 50% more, 25%, 25%. Right? So 25%, 25%, 25%, and 25%. Together they are called as 100%. Now here 1/4 is nothing but 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 is green stem. Can I also tell us 25%? Yes. So your brown stem will be what? Brown stem will be 25%. Now if I ask you a question, what will be the percentage of green stem? The percentage of green stem will be 75%. So green stem will be 75%. Clear? So 75%. 75 plus 25 is 100% in total. Now the ratio of capital G and capital G small g in the F2 progeny. Now they're asking you again, they're asking you ratio now. Now what will be the ratio here? Ratio is again very simple, sir. Capital G is only 1. So 1 is to. Then we are asking you ratio of capital G small g. So 1 here, 1 here. So 1 is to 2 ratio is the answer. 1 is to 2 ratio is the answer for third one here. Now let's see the last question. Let's see the last question here. Based on the findings in this cross, what conclusion can be drawn? So in total, there are 2 conclusions here. What are 2 conclusions? Since this is a mono-hybrid cross, the 2 conclusions here is law of dominance as well as law of segregations. Those 2 are the conclusions here. Now this question can be asked for 3 marks, 5 marks, everything. Done? All of you understood all of the questions here? Amazing. If you're able to solve such questions with ease, like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, because until your examination, we will make sure on this channel you will solve all type of questions. Okay? Next question. How did Mendel explain that it is possible that a trait is inherited? Right? Mendel is telling you, how do you prove that a trait is inherited but not expressed in an organism? If a trait is inherited but it is not expressed, how will we prove that? Quickly tell me in the chat. Quickly tell me in the chat, how did Mendel explain that a trait is inherited but it is not expressed at all? They're like, no, we are not expressing. How much? How will we happen? How many, which number of questions? I forgot to put the number of questions, so don't worry. There are more than 20. See, we will never reduce the number of questions. We will always increase. I told you 20, but actually there are around 20 to 23 questions. Bonus questions are there. Don't worry. How did they told? That is exactly in the F1 plant. So Mendel did what? Mendel did tall cross with dwarf, capital T, small t. What we obtain? We obtained gametes here. Crossing the gametes, we obtained tall t and small t. Now here, the small t is inherited. Small t is inherited, but is it expressing? You will be like, no sir, capital T is not allowing the small t to express. That is law of dominance. That is law of dominance. Clear? That is law of dominance. With the help of law of dominance, Mendel explained that a trait can be inherited but it cannot be expressed here, because this is also tall in nature. The tall short one is not expressed. Sir, my father is 6 feet height, but my height stopped at 15 years old. Dwarfism? That is not dwarfism. Dwarfism will only happen if your height is less than 3 feet, because the hypothalamus will not secrete enough of your growth stimulating hormone. That is not dwarfism. Okay, that is not dwarfism. Probably because you got the recessive trait. What is your height of your mother, Krishnu? Tell me, what is the height of your mother? Your mother might be short little. So you inherited the trait of your mother. That is, the recessive trait was expressed here. Okay. So he thought the medium plant will be, but only tall plant. Exactly. There was no medium plant. There was no medium plant. Only tall plants were there in the F1 generation. In the F1 generation. Okay. Next question, students. How do Mendel's experiment show that? How do Mendel's experiments show that traits are inherited independently? Now tell me fast. See, here this question was law of dominance. With the law of dominance, this question was answered. What about this question? Are you seeing the type of question they can ask you? Are you noticing they will twist and turn? They'll not ask you direct questions in the board examination. Sir, can you do blood grouping question? It is there. Don't worry, I'll teach you blood grouping question, every type of question. I think blood grouping question is there. If it is not there, I'll make a question on spot and I'll tell you. Okay. Yes, exactly. Law of independent assortment. With the help of law of independent assortment, Mendel explained that the two contrasting traits, that is shape of the seed as well as the size of the seed, right? Shape of the seed as well as the, not size, shape of the seed and color of the seed, sorry, shape of the seed and color of the seed, the true contrasting traits are independently assorted. Independently assorted. Clear? Oh, explanation is given here, students. The entire explanation is given here. You can see the PDF. I'll send you the PDF and you will see the read the proper explanation. My blood group is O negative. O negative is very O negative is rare, but the rarest blood group is AB negative. Remember that. The rarest blood group is AB negative. My blood group is O positive, I guess. Yes, it's O positive. Next question. Nice question is here. Can we solve the question now? The question is, tall pea plant producing red flowers. See, in the examination, they can give you questions based on not just tall and dwarf, or they cannot give you questions based on, you know, shape of the seed and color of the seed. They can also change. The change here is tall pea plant producing red flowers. Tall pea plant is producing red flowers, that is tall plant, and also red flowers. We are obtaining capital T, capital T, capital R, capital R. Is crossed with short pea plant. Short pea plant with white flowers. With white flowers. But white flowers producing capital T and small r, small r. Now quickly tell me in the chat, capital T is tall is dominant or short is dominant? All of you will tell me, search tall is dominant. Now tell me in the chat, is the red dominant or white dominant? All of you will tell me, yes sir, the red is dominant. Yes, correct. Now, what are they asking in question? Mention the type of plants producing, mention the type of plants produces from these plants in the F1 generation. They're asking you question basically in the F1 generation, what do we obtain? What do we obtain? So if you do the gametes here, we have capital R, small r, capital T, small t. In the gametes we obtain capital T, small t, capital R, small r. What will be the F1 here? The F1 generation will be here tall, because your capital T is dominant, and we'll also have red flowers. We'll have red flower. So we'll have a tall pea plant with red color flowers here. That will be your F1 generation. Write the ratio of plant obtained in the F2 generation by crossing the plants of F1 generation and name the varieties in the plant. Now, listen to me very carefully now. Tell me in the chat right now, is this a monohybrid cross or is this a dihybrid cross? You will tell me in the chat, sir, there are two different contrasting characters, so I will call this a dihybrid cross. Correct? Now you tell me in the chat, when we cross F1 and crossing with 2F1, right? What is the phenotypic ratio in dihybrid cross? The phenotypic ratio in your dihybrid cross is nothing but 9:3:3:1. Yes sir, correct. Now, if you write that much, you will not get the entire marks. If this is a 5-mark question, you need to draw the entire table, right? You didn't draw the entire table. And when you do the entire table, then only you will understand name of the varieties of plant obtained. What are the name of the varieties? What are the name of the varieties here? See, first one variety can be what? One variety is tall with red flowers. That is one variety. That will be your 9 condition. No, what about this 3-3? The 3-3 can be what? Tall plant with white flowers. Tall plant with white flowers. The other 3 can be your short plant with red flowers. And this last one, this one can be both recessive. That is short plant with white flowers. Clear? These are the 4 different varieties we can obtain from the dihybrid cross. Clear? Easy question, no. This is actually a previous year question. This is a previous year question from your Karnataka board syllabus. From your, these people who are from Bangalore. Tell me in the chat, how many of you are from Bangalore? Are any of you from Bangalore? if you are from Bangalore and if you want to solve previous year questions from Karnataka board syllabus SSLC, this is the previous year, directly from the question paper I've taken. Directly from the question paper I've taken this snip and I made sure you solve this question. This is for your SSLC board question. Okay, amazing. Next question. How do Mendel's experiment show that traits may be dominant or recessive? Very easy question. Yes, very easy question. Do the entire monohybrid cross and tell them, after doing the monohybrid cross, you should tell them 75% are tall plants, which are tall plants, F1 progenies. In F1 progenies, everyone were tall. In F1 progeny, all the plants were tall, that is law of dominance. And in the case of F2 generation, 75% were tall. Whenever the dominant allele were present, they were tall. Whenever the recessive allele were present, they were short. And recessive allele was present only once, that is in the case of 25% here. Clear? All of you can solve the question? Amazing. Next question is 5-mark question. Can we start? Can we start the 5-mark questions now? Yes, the first 5-mark question is on your screen. What are dominant and recessive traits? All of you can answer this question. All of you know what is a dominant trait. All of you know what is a recessive trait. Write in detail with the help of example. If you don't write examples in the case of 5-mark question, you will not get the marks. Very sure on that. The next question here, I don't think I have to explain this. Easy question. Is it possible that a trait is inherited but may not be expressed in the next generation? Yes, it can be inherited, may not be expressed. In the case of your monohybrid cross, the F1 generation, capital T, small t, the small t is inherited, but is this expressed? You will be like, no sir. Even though small t is inherited, it is not expressing. I already gave you the explanation for that. Okay, give a suitable example and justify the statement. Clear? Clear? Easy question. All of you can write. The entire explanation is given here. The entire explanation is given here. You can write this. Exactly. Exactly. In the case of F1 generation, you can explain this entire thing. Everything is here. And all of these questions, we have already solved this. Okay. Next question, students. The next question here is, how many pairs of chromosomes are present in the human beings? How many pairs of chromosomes are present in case of human beings? We have 23 pairs of chromosomes. In total, 46 chromosomes are there. 23 pair. Okay. Out of these, how many types of sex chromosomes are found in humans? Out of this 23 pairs of chromosomes, we have 1 pair of sex chromosome. That is, in the case of male, it is XY chromosome. In the case of female, it is XX chromosome. Clear? Next, the sex of the newborn child is a matter of chance. Yes, it is a 50-50% chance, and none of the parents may be considered responsible for it. Draw a flow chart showing the determination of sex of the newborn to justify the statement. Right? I think we solved this question somewhere. We solved, right? Sex determination. Here, this is the answer. This is the answer for that question as well. The entire sex determination. The entire sex determination can be written here. Okay, that is the question. Now, next question. Now, very good question. Now, this is a homework question. I'll ask you, all of you, to draw. I have more questions, don't worry. Why am I telling you homework question? Because I want to see some comments. All of you are attending the class. All of you are vigilantly doing this. Okay, what is the question here? This is a CBSE Term 2 Set 2015 level question. Okay. A pea plant with blue color flowers. A pea plant with blue color flowers denoted by capital B, capital B. Yes. Capital B and capital B. Blue color flowers. Is crossbred with a pea plant with white flowers. That is WW. Okay. Question number 1. What is expected color of the flower in the F1? See, if you cross this, what do we get? Capital B and W. When you cross this in the F1 generation, we obtain this. Now here B is more dominant. So the expected color in the F1 generation will be obviously blue in color. Obviously blue in color. Okay. Now what will be the percentage of plant bearing white flowers in the F2 generation when the flower is crossed again? Now this question is similar to the question which we did before. In F2 generation, white flowers will always be 25%. Okay, and because it is recessive in nature, the dominant will be 75%. Now this question I want to see in the comments. State the expected ratio of the genotype between capital B and capital B W in the F1 generation. In the F2 generation, I want to see the answer in the comments, today's comments. This is a homework question. This is a homework question. Part C. Part C is a homework question. Sir, how to calculate the percentage of phenotype? Listen to me very carefully. So, if this is a simple math, I'll tell you. Simple math, I'll tell you. This box is 100%. This box is 100% now. Okay. Now, if I divide it into half, what will be the percentage? Each one will become 50% and 50%. Yes. Now, what if I divide this into half again? This will become 25%. This will become 25%. Again, this if we divide into half, this will become 25% and this will become 25%. Simple? Yes, sir, that is very simple to know. Now, tell me in the chat, when we do the F2, when we do a cross in the case of your monohybrid, here only we'll take the example. Capital B and W, capital B and W. We get capital B, capital B, capital B, W, capital B, W and small w, W. Now, think this entire box overlap on this, the entire box. Now, you tell me what will be the percentage of the blue color flowers here. When I ask you the blue color flowers, will this be blue color? Yes, sir, blue color, 25% plus. Will this also be blue color? Yes, sir, B is more dominant, that will also be 25%. So add 25%. This I'm telling you just to understand. There is mathematical ways to solve this, but I'm telling you the easy method. What will be this? This will also be blue color in nature. So again 25%. So in total it will be 75%. Yes, 75%. What about this one? The small one here. That will be 25% in nature. So if they ask you what is the percentage of the white flower, you should tell me 25% or 1 by 4. 1 out of 4 or 25% is nothing but your white flowers. It is white flowers. This is a simple method. This is the very simple method to do it. Okay. Next question. Competency based questions. Ready? Ready? Exactly. 3 by 4 into 100, that is percentage. Okay. Or 1 by 4. Do 1 by 4. Do 1 by 4 into 100 you do. Just do 1 by 4 into 100. You get 25%. 1 by 4, 0.25 into 100, 25%. Simple. Okay. Ready? Can we do? Can we start? Can we start a competency based question? Tell me in the chat if everyone is ready for competency based questions now. Ready? Quickly tell me in the chat. Yes, sir, I'm ready. We will solve now competency based questions. Yes, sir, all of us ready? Question number 1. A plant with red flower. A plant with red flower. What is it? Capital R and small w. Capital R and small w is crossed with a plant with white flower. Small w, small w. There are 2 variations of the gene controlling the color of the flower. Yes, the gene for red flower is R, is dominant. So red is more dominant over the white flowers. So we have a red flower and we have a white flower. Red is more dominant, white is recessive in nature. We get a Punnett square is also given here. Punnett square is given here. That is, when we cross them, we get capital R small w, capital R small w, WW and WW. Now tell me, this will be your red flower. Yes, this will also be red flower. This will be white flower. This will be white flower. Correct, sir? Till here we understood the entire question. But what is the actual question here? The actual question is here. What is the percentage of plants is likely to produce white flowers? What is the percentage you can obtain white flowers? Tell me, see this again. See, I told you the box. Remember the box? In the entire box, 25%, 25%, 25% and 25%. Think of this as the same box. Where do we have white? This will be white. This will be white. 25 plus 25, 50 percentage. Or we can also write it as 2 by 4. 2 by 4 into 100. That will be the 50% will be the answer. Now if I ask you, now I'll ask you, what is the percentage of red flowers? Tell me first in the chat, what is the percentage of red color flowers here? The answer will again will be 50% will be the color of the red flowers here. Okay. Now, next question here. A red flower, that is capital R was crossed with a white flower, small w. What will be the color of the flower of the next generation plants? They're asking you what will be the color of the F1 plants. F1 plants. Before you do anything, please do the cross always. Always do the cross. What do we have here? Capital R, small w. What do we obtain gamete here? Capital R, here small w. Which is more dominant? Red is more dominant. So F1 color plant will be what? The F1 will be, the single will be, all will be red. Exactly. It will be red in color. It will be red in color. I can see a doubt. How do germ cell make a single set of genes from two normal copies of genes? Because of meiosis. There's a process called as meiosis, also called as reduction division. During the reduction division, there is a complete meiosis and there will be separation of, there will be reduction in the number of haploid gametes. Okay. Next question. Ooh, what is this? This looks like a difficult question, sir. This looks like a very difficult question. Is this a difficult question? The answer would be no, but understand the question, all of you. Understand the question here. The picture shows inheritance of X chromosome. The picture shows here inheritance of X chromosome linked trait. It is the X chromosome inheritance in a family. There are two variations of trait X, capital X and small x. Two traits are there. Okay. In the case of plants, both happens. Meiosis as well as mitosis. Meiosis needs to happen. Yes, even in the case of algae, meiosis will happen, mitosis will happen. That is a very common feature, because whenever if the plant has to reproduce, it has to produce gametes. The gametes are always produced with the help of meiosis. Okay. Now see here, the picture shows inheritance of X chromosome linked trait in the family. Yes, X chromosome trait. There are two variations of the trait. That is, we have X and capital X and small x. The trait is recessive. The trait here is recessive, and affected individuals carry two copies of recessive genes. So affected individuals, every single time there is affected, you see this affected mother. Affected individuals will have recessive genes. So affected individuals will have, what is recessive here? Capital X is dominant and small x is recessive. Small x is recessive. Okay. What is the question? Which of the following is the correct genotype of mother and father? They're asking you the genotype of mother and father now. Okay. Hello from Arunachal Pradesh. Hello from Bangalore. Hello from Karnataka to you. Okay. Now tell me first, what will be the genotype of mother and father? Good question. You'll be like, yes sir, how will I solve this question? Now simple, by elimination method. By elimination method, we know in the case of father, father is also affected here. Yes, father is affected here. Yes, father is affected. We also know mother is also affected here. Yes, mother is affected. What about the children? Unaffected female, unaffected, unaffected, and unaffected. Yes, it is unaffected. Now listen to me very carefully. If a person is affected, their genotype will be 2 copies of recessive genes. They will have 2 copies of recessive genes. The recessive gene of 2 copies is nothing but X and X in the case of female. So if the mother has to be affected, she will have 2 copies of recessive gene. That is, she'll have small x and small x. Where do we have small x? Do we have small x and small x? Yes sir, we have small x and small x here. Here as well as here. So both are eliminated. This is eliminated. This is also eliminated. Now we have to look at the father. Yes, father also shows that affected is father is also affected here. Father is also affected. Yes sir, father is affected here. But here, what is it says? There are the trait is recessive. The affected individual carries 2 copies of recessive genes. Now, do you see any in here also? Do you see recessive genes here? No sir, we only see recessive gene here. One is small x, one is capital X and capital Y. Now tell me in the chat. This is not a PYQ. This is a very high thinking question. Very high thinking question. These type of questions you cannot get, very rarely you will get such questions, but you should be prepared. You should be prepared for such questions. Yes. In the case of male here, your dad is the carrier here. Dad cannot be carrier. Dad is the affected here. Tell me, Chain in the chat, who can tell me the answer to this question? What is the answer? Tell me in the chat quickly. So many of you, I can see so many different answers here. Tell me first, what is the answer here? Okay, so many of them are going wrong. So, you know what I'll do? I will make this question as a homework question. What say? No, son. You know what I'll do? Students, if you're able to solve such questions, it means your thinking is even way beyond. I will answer this question in my starting of my next class. Let's see how many of you attend my next class. This answer I'll tell you. See, answer is between your B and D. Answer is between B and D. Let me know the answer in the comment section today. Let's see how many of you can answer such high level questions. Okay, let me know in the comment section for answer to this question, and I will reply to you if the answer is correct or not. And if you do not see the comments also, I will tell you answer to such questions in my next class. How what say? This is the way it should be. I will leave you hanging. Now last 3 questions for today. Sir, all are giving the same. No. Everyone is saying option number D, but I want all of you to think more. It can be correct or it can be wrong. That's how it should be. Yes, it is D, but in the case of males cannot be carriers. Okay. Now solve these questions. So it's a AR question. 3 AR questions are there. Options are given here. 3 AR questions, options are given here. So question number 1 here is traits like tallness and dwarfness in a pea plant are inherited independently. Yes sir, they are inherited independently. When a homozygous tall pea plant is crossed with dwarf pea plant, a medium sized plant is obtained. Do we get medium plant? Did Mendel get medium plant? No, you always get tall plants. So this answer to the first question is B is false. So answer is C here. Next question. Pea plant is considered ideal for hybridization experiments. Yes, it is considered the most ideal for experiments. Pea is self-pollinating plant. Yes, it is self-pollinating. short life cycle and bears visible contrasting traits. That is why Mendel took pea plant. So this answer is it explaining the assertion? Yes, it is explaining the assertion. So this answer is A. Answer is A. Last question. Monohybrid cross deals with inheritance of one pair of contrasting character. Yes, sir. In the case of monohybrid, it's only one pair of contrasting character. Reason, dihybrid cross deals with inheritance of two pairs of contrasting characters. Yes, sir. In the case of dihybrid, there are two pairs of contrasting characters. But is the reason correct for assertion? No. Your two statements are correct, but your reason is not explaining the assertion. So this is going to be your option number B. Both A and T are true, but R is not the correct explanation of assertion. Clear? Clear? That is the end of today's session. That is the end of today's beautiful session. So I want everyone to type. See, I want answer to this question in the comments. Answer to this question in the comments. How many of you do not cheat? How many of you know you should be able to answer this question in the comment section? Okay. Now maths class will start. You can start the maths with Suhas sir. Okay. So explain the fusion of allosome gametes and only one diploid chromosome remains. Okay, that I'll explain in the next class. I think Suhas sir is waiting. That's why I can see Suhas sir standing outside. See students, I know some of you have so many doubts. If you want, I'll do top 20 questions again. Okay, I'll do top 20 questions again. I can see HSC saying how many offsprings of traits of both the parents. Also explain the allosomes. Yes, let me know in the comment section all your doubts. I will explain, I will reply to it personally, but now Suhas sir is waiting outside. He's giving me one stare. He's like, sir, come out fast. So in the next class, if you have any doubt, ask me all the doubts. All doubts in the comment section. I will reply to it personally and I will see you in the next class. Clear? Okay, let me know in the comment section. Suhas sir is waiting outside. So